Lake? Anybody know? What do you think lives on Connection Lake? What? Ducks? Yeah?
Not just ducks.
What else?
Fish, clams.
Yeah? What kind of fish do you think there are in this lake?
Trout.
What's your favorite thing about nature?
The trees.
And what do you like about the trees?
That so tall and beautiful, and I actually can. And they're shaded for animals.
Oh, right, that's a good point. Yeah. Anything else?
Well, 2 pieces about everything. Because they have to have everything to work together to make. So like the ground has water and sun, and ground has to make trees, so they make oxygen, and we breathe oxygen throughout. Because normally the place would just rot and everything will just disappear. Like the trees will die and we'll have less oxygen.
If we don't have trees?
Yeah.
I think we look at our children. We have so many restrictions, so many fears that are brought into our society, and we put those onto our children. And we have to start to think about what is their human right to be able to come out, to be able to touch this natural setting, to be able to breathe this lovely air. Those are some of the restrictions that we put on our children that we have to really think about, to give them the opportunity to learn, to understand, to feel this natural way of being, because so much of it is predetermined of how they're going to live, what they're going to eat, how they're going to survive. When we restrict our children from playing and being in a natural setting like this, it changes again their whole, spirit, their whole ideology of what is real, what is this environment, why can't we go play in that environment. We have so many fears of the wildlife out there, the things that are going on out there, that so much of the wildlife, so much of the natural landscape is disappearing before we even have an opportunity to send our children out there or allow them to be in this landscape, and not to put them in a landscape of one that's manicured, to allow them to be in that landscape. We're having a very difficult time finding a natural landscape that our children are safe and are able to learn and experience. Because again, if we keep fabricating these false landscapes, what are our children going to learn about the natural way of being, and what is their spirit going to retain of this traditional, or this very, organic way of living? So it's some of the things that we must really think about and allow our children to come out into even a small tract of land and just walk about, take their boots off, let them get dirty, let them feel the moss, instead of restraining them from being very sterile. So those are some of the things that we look at, and even in our culture, and even in my own neighborhood, when I get an opportunity to take young children out, let them enjoy it, let them have fun. You can always wash your clothes, you can always bath them. Do that later after they're full of mud, or really enjoying the feeling of this natural landscape and filling their soul and their spirit with just being on this land.
Welcome to Jubilee Community Garden. My name's Carol Sim. This is Rose, and we've just had a school program of kids coming from one of the neighborhood schools. They come down for to learn about gardening and just about life in general. They come April, May, and June, and then they come again in the fall, September, October. In the spring they will plant. In April they'll be planting things, seeding things. In May they'll probably be weeding, and by June they'll be picking the things that they planted in April. And the fall they'll be helping with garden cleanup. So they come all seasons, kind of spring, and through the summer we invite them to come and just check out the garden and see how it's doing. So they get to see the garden a couple of times a year anyway. This is our 5th season. We started 5 years ago, almost 5 years ago, with the city just giving us part of this park, 4,000 square feet, to see what we could do. And so now we have some very established perennial beds and shrubs. We have a really nice compost area with lots of bins. We have 40 allotment plots, which people rent for the year. And this is our communal part that we're standing in. This is for sharing and for donation. So it's about 5 years old.
My mother was a terrific gardener. She only had a grade 3 education, but she grew her own plants and apparently learned them from one generation to another, and it's passed on to me.
I think I got into gardening. My grandmother was a real gardener. She sold out of her little area eggs, chickens, corn, strawberries, asparagus that she sold to the public, and then she always had lots for us kids to eat too when we came over. So I think she got me hooked on gardening. I think they need to have an experience rather than just having information thrown at them. I think they need to get out and experience things, especially in our electronic world where a lot of kids are playing video games a lot of the day in their spare time. Video games are a very hectic kind of energy where you can never go fast enough and you can never be good enough. And so I think it's really nice for them to come to the garden, and they're rewarded and praised for pulling a weed out and for just pitching in and helping with some of the tasks here in the garden. And they get dirty, they find worms, it's real stuff, you know, and I think that's the valuable part. I learned to go outside and feel comfortable in nature because I felt safe there. I spent a lot of time just under a tree and nestled in moss, and I just felt good there. And I think that's when I learned to appreciate nature and the comfort that we can find there. I always think our children are our future. I think if we don't invest in children, we're in trouble. I think if we want kids to care about parks and about nature, we have to get them hooked right away when they're young, when they think it's fun and when they're keen to learn. I think it's too late to wait until they're teenagers and can understand everything. They have to have some experience here that makes them like nature and makes them like gardening. And I think they get that here. They're always so keen to come back and do more work. And people like Rose are great because she just tells them about life and about gardening and in a nice, relaxed manner.
We have the luxury of having this beautiful forest near us and the ability to go outside. Why not use it? It's better than being cooped up inside all the time.
We restrict our children from playing and being in a natural setting like this. It changes again their whole, I guess, spirit, their whole ideology of what is real, what is this environment, why can't we go play in that environment? And we have so many fears of, you know, the wildlife out there, the things that are going on out there, that, you know, so much of the wildlife, so much of the natural landscape is disappearing before we even have an opportunity to send our children out there or allow them to be in this landscape.